So Bryan, I'm so excited to speak to you because I found out that you have a family business. Can you tell me more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So, Made for Success is a family run book publishing company. In fact, I started my children early with a business when they were 16 years old, editing audiobooks and doing that kind of thing. My wife and I run the business. She runs operations, and I run all the new author acquisition. And it turns out really well. We've got 5 employees. We've got 30 contractors that help with the business, and then we're distributed by 2 really large companies. So it's kind of a fun way to do business. We operate out of our house. We call it the Heathman Ranch. We're in Seattle. We have authors flying in from all over the world, and we host them. It's kind of like a little bed and breakfast place where they come in to record audiobooks or to work on writing retreats and all kinds of exciting things.
So if I was to ask, let's say, a family member what it's really like to work behind the scenes, what do you think they would say?
Huh. So if you were to ask a family member, an actual family member, that's a tough one because I'm on camera, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, actually, let's just ask a family member.
Sure.
Let me see if I can find one. Oh, here's one right here.
Well, sure enough. Yeah.
So-
What do you have to ask me?
So this is Tyler, and Tyler, you
This
are.
is Tyler, my son. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's 27. He's been working for the business now for 2.5 years.
Sure enough.
So how is it really though? Because with the family dynamics, and especially when you are doing a lot of different important elements, right? And everybody has to be on task. Everybody has to hold their own, so to speak. How is that dynamic working together?
I'll admit the conflict resolution tends to get a little tricky at times. Gets a little messy, but truthfully, at the end of the day, it makes us a better duo, having that ability to both have the emotional ties as a family member, but also have the corporate side as business professionals. I feel, work better because of it.
In fact, I was just talking to another speaker here, and she was saying, wait a minute, I've heard of your company. I was talking to this young man with dark glasses. So he's having a lot of fun kind of working it. In fact, he was at the Cigar Peg just the other night talking to folks.
So because your company, which is a great title for your company, Made for Success, what is your success advice right now, and especially directed towards the speakers who've had to pivot during this hard time, as did most companies, right, overall?
Yeah.
I'm going to ask both of you, what is your success advice?
Yeah, so the speaking business has been really difficult over the last 15 months. So I was called by dozens of speakers who said that they lost all of their speaking engagements. One speaker called up and said, I lost $250,000 of revenue within the next 2 months. So it's been very, very difficult within all of us here in the business. But in the book publishing business, it's actually quite interesting. The dynamics have changed. Every single bookstore in North America closed their doors. Every single independent bookstore, all the Barnes & Noble stores, they closed their doors. So how do you sell books when all the bookstores are closed? And the funniest thing happened. In fact, it was a dynamic that is interesting to a lot of people, where 71% of our business as a mid-tier publisher now comes from Amazon, from one customer. But get this, here's where it gets a little shocking. When you add the ebooks and the audiobooks and the physical books together, we're seeing 85% of our book revenues coming from one company, from Amazon. So what do you do in that type of thing? Well, enter Tyler.
So with a lot of the business now shifting to Amazon, that gives the digital side, me, a really good opportunity to start creating that credibility in a digital market. And when public speakers come and want to promote themselves in new ways, I get to actually work with them and build funnels and optimize their online presence a lot more, because that's obviously on all speakers' minds now, is how do I shift into a digital world. And so we've been working really closely on how to bring speakers' intellectual property into a book and then far beyond it, and how far we can stretch that in a digital landscape.
Now, and here's what's exciting from a family-run business standpoint, right? So we had a really hard year in 2020. All the bookstores shut down. There was no place to sell books, and we were getting all of our books back. It got very expensive. But during the lockdown, everybody was writing, especially speakers around Caesar's Palace, where we're standing right now. And in 2021, our business has doubled, right? Already in the first 6 months of the year, we've had 4 Wall Street Journal bestsellers. This year alone, our 5th one will be crowned Wall Street Journal in 2 weeks. So there's some really exciting times and some really exciting things that speakers can do.
So look for the opportunity, look at where you can pivot. What can you digitalize your assets and get a wider market? Yeah. So that seems to be the success message here. And to a great family, congratulations to you, because it looks like your business has been taken off now in 2021, whereas a lot of people are still trying to figure that out. But congratulations, and thank you for coming out and supporting NSA.
Yeah, this is
Absolutely.
really fun to be a sponsor at NSA.